Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here, and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today, guys, here we are to continue my AFL 2023 round previews. And in today's video, I'm going to be previewing every game coming up in round 14 of the 2023 AFL season, and of course, doing a bunch of other things as the round previews are quite jam-packed now, but that's pretty good, and we always start our round previews with a previous round review. So we're going to be reviewing round 13. It was the Saints that defeated Sydney on the Thursday night by 14. Port Adelaide defeated the Western Bulldogs by 22 on the Friday night. Saturday's footy action kicked off with Hawthorn defeating Brisbane in a major upset by 25. Adelaide defeating West Coast, smashing West Coast really by 122. Richmond defeating Freo in an upset by 15. The Giants defeating North Melbourne by 28 in Tassie. Essendon defeating Carlton by 34. And then in the King's birthday game and Big Freeze Fight MND game, Melbourne defeated Collingwood by 4 on the buys for the round with Geelong and Gold Coast. This week is a shorter round of football with the 6 games, but I don't think you could have as many good games in a round as this round does. I think there's real 50-50s everywhere, and this is probably the difference between getting a 6 out of 6 in tipping and maybe a 2 out of 6 this round. I think that there's genuinely 50-50 games everywhere, so let's go ahead and kick into the round preview. First game on the Thursday night footy is staying here until round 18, I'm pretty sure, which is great. Still got plenty more weeks of that. Port Adelaide Geelong on the Thursday night, and arguably, for mine anyway, it's the game of the round. I think just with the amount of factors that this game's going to have, it's going to have a whole new dimension into it, especially regarding Geelong's selection changes they're going to have at the selection table. Dangerfield, you'd be assuming he'd be coming back in, and there's a couple of other players as well that might be in line to come back for Geelong, and this is big stakes on the Thursday night at the Adelaide Oval because Port Adelaide won 10 games in a row and we know what good form they're in. And obviously, as the games do continue to mount up, you go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. And then you go from 10 to 11, and if they get there, that isn't. You do think it's going to end sometime, and they are due for a loss. They're going to lose eventually. It's just when. That's the real matter of when. But I don't think it's going to be in this game. I think they're going to win an 11th game in a row, and they're going to win it by 7. But this is a really big game. 2 good sides, a 2nd versus 9th. It's a 50-50 game. But look, I think Port Adelaide is going to be too strong. So Friday night is Brisbane versus Sydney at the Gabba. Probably one of the more unappealing games of the season. Going into the start of the season, this looked like one of the unmissable games. But now it has turned into a game where literally probably just about any other game could have been a Friday night game except for this one and North and the Dogs. I think any other game probably could have been Friday night easily except for this one because now it just doesn't look that interesting. Sydney's season is getting ugly. And I mean, Brisbane haven't been up to the standards either, so this could be a really good game. I'm not saying it won't be. Could be a really good game because both sides need the win, I reckon. I still feel like both sides have had some interesting, some choppy years, some unsettling years where they just haven't quite found the same groove they were in last year. Brisbane, even though they're in 4th, which is still great, they're definitely going a little bit worse than what we expected. And against those sides which have some good run and carry and fast and younger sides like Hawthorn exposed them, Adelaide exposed them, Port Adelaide exposed them, they're getting exposed. Now, these are games away from the Gabba. They are definitely a different side of the Gabba. But if the Swans can bring run and carry, there's no doubt about they're actually a genuine shot in this game. Now, I just feel like with the way the Sydney season is going from bad to worse, after every game they play, they're losing some really winnable games, and they've got a tough fixture. I think Brisbane are going to be too strong to win by 42, but I reckon Sydney potentially, if they can bring some run and carry, are a red hot chance in that game. Saturday's footy action is looking amazing. Only the 2 games, but 2 absolutely vital games. GWS versus Freo is the first one in the twilight time slot at Giants Stadium. It's 14th versus 10th, and this is a real 50-50 contest. And for finals, this is huge. Now, the Giants, long shot for finals, they're probably not going to make it. And if they do want any chance of finals, they've absolutely got to win this game. If they drop this one, season over for the Giants, and you can officially close them off. If they win this game, however, their finals chances are still alive. But these are the games that you got to win at Giants Stadium if you want to make finals from a Giants point of view. And you don't think they will, but You don't know until they've played this game, and this game will set up their season for both these two sides. A loss for Freo, and their finals is looking shaky. But a win for them, and I feel like last week could have been a little hiccup. But look, this is a big game. It's 14th versus 10th. It is really 50-50, and I could see this game going either way. It's definitely going to come down to who's better on the day, and I just feel like the Dockers are just going to edge their way over the Giants by 8 points, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants came to play and surprised the Dockers with a real big upset. Richmond and St Kilda is a Saturday night game, and it's another big one. The Tigers, they're not out of the finals race either. They're coming, and they're coming hard. Since Andrew McCall has stepped in as coach, they've looked good. The performance against Port Adelaide wasn't their greatest, but it was still decent. I cannot remember who they played in round 12, no, they played the Giants in round 12, and that was a really good win. And then last round just solidified what they've been doing well in the past couple of weeks with a big win over the Dockers. So again, if they want to keep finals on the agenda, they're going to have to win this game. And it's probably not season over if they lose, but it gets very tough if they do. It's 12th versus 5th. I think the Saints are just the better side and are going to win by 8. But look, I reckon this is going to be a really good game on the Saturday night. Now on to Sunday's football action. One good game, one not so great game, but we'll start with the good one. The first Sunday afternoon game is Carlton and the Suns at the MCG. A rare Carlton home MCG game and a rare Suns game at the MCG as well. This is going to be a really good game though. Carlton are in 15th spot, Gold Coast are in 11th spot. Carlton, yeah, they're not going to make finals this year, and they've been really disappointing, to say the least. They've just wasted another really good year and started off the year really well. They looked like they were going to make finals, but again, it was just the same story as last year, except just shorter times this year. Sorry, last year took them. They were in the round. They were in the 8 every round, but the last round. This year they started off really well and have just fallen off. So yeah, they're not going to make finals. The Suns, however, last couple of weeks been big for them. Had the bye last week, but they're coming off 2 really good weeks in the Northern Territory, and a trip to the MCG for them isn't going to be the easiest thing. And a lot of people have said Suns might blow Carlton out of the blocks here. They're not going to do that. I think they're only going to win by 6 points. I think Carlton will test them, and because it is at the MCG for Gold Coast, they might have a hard time there. But I still think they're going to get over the line and win by 6 in a cracking game. Final game of the round, not very interesting at all. Might have been more interesting if North had prevailed over the Giants by a bit of a margin at Blunston. It is North Melbourne versus Western Bulldogs at Marvel. 17th versus 8th. North Melbourne, their last couple of weeks had been fantastic. All their hard work, arguably undone against the Giants, and they need to respond this week, North. They need a response. They need their players to get back. They need them to respond, and they need to have a really good day against Western Bulldogs. Larkey, I reckon he's on. I reckon Larkey can have a genuine good day against the Dogs. You'd think Jones would go to him to shut him down, but if Jones doesn't go to him, I'd be relatively surprised, because otherwise he'll probably have a decent day, because the Dogs' defence isn't the greatest. Still, Jones has been a big inclusion, but their defence isn't stacked, isn't the greatest of any, isn't the greatest in the competition or anything like that. Still good enough, but it's not the greatest of any team in the competition. But I still think that the Dogs are going to be able to walk over by 41 points. But the key for North this week is they definitely need to try and get a lot closer than that if they want to win the game. Alright, so the buys this round are for Adelaide, Collingwood, Essendon, Hawthorn, Melbourne and West Coast. Ladder. At the moment, this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like at the moment. You guys can have a little look at it at your own speed. I'll just go through this for you guys. But look, this top 8, top 4 race is really heating up. There's some genuine packs. But now I'll go to what I think the ladder will look like after this round. So make sure to go ahead and check out tipping. My AFL 2023 round 14 predictions, so then you guys can see all the exact scores. But again, with all those margins in play, this is how I think the ladder's going to be. Still some sides yet to play due to the buys, but yeah, there's a ladder, and it is a really good end to the season coming up for sure. And the big thing is after round 14 as well, which I've noticed, is that a lot of these teams here from 2nd to 6th, and then 8th, 11th, and 13th still yet to play a game. Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities. So yeah, after round 15, I think like once round 15's ended, I think we'll definitely have a better, clearer look on the pick on the ladder, as the buys can change how you see the ladder due to teams still having games in hand. But it does look very interesting if you ask me. And now the final thing we should do in these round previews, we have a look at some player stats. Now, Coleman Medal, I would tell you this is getting interesting now. We're only at the just over halfway point of the year, but there's still a lot to be played out in this area. A lot of ground still to go. Charlie Curnow has kicked 40 goals. You'd think you'd at least need, 60 to win, at least, I'd say, in the regular year. But yeah, I reckon the winner's probably going to have 65 or something like that. But yeah, got Kerner up the top. Then you got Jeremy Cameron in second, equal with Taylor Walker, who had a bag of 10, and you just see how he jumped up. So a really good game against a really poor side can give you a jump skip. And Nick Larkey's probably the only other one in contention as well. He's in fourth on 36. Then you got Cameron on 34, which is probably the only other outside chance, but that's how the Coleman Medal ladder is looking at the moment. So massive round of footy coming up this round. Port Adelaide by 7, Brisbane by 42, Freo by 8, St Kilda by 8, Gold Coast by 6, and the Western Bulldogs by 41 are my tips. Thank you, my predictions for this round. Thank you guys for so much watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys and then miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Bye everyone. Flame Footy out.